Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tier Monsters First Blood Tournament, brought to you by hi-rez Studios. This is the first round between Team Wildcard Purple and Cliffhangers. My name is M-Target, and my co-caster is Souza. Souza, what do we have banned for us today?
Well, we got Nemesis, Kali, and Giannis taking another picture already, expecting a Circuit to come out of Cliffhangers unless they're absolutely confident in their ability to handle it, or steal it away here.
I would definitely agree with the Circuit. Actually, interesting choice by Cliffhangers to ban Sylvanas.
Yeah, it's going to be a Circuit lock-in immediately for Wildcard Purple right there, but, I mean, question is, are we going to see Circuit played well here? And maybe Cliffhangers has something up their sleeves here they know they can deal Circuit with here.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that everybody is so afraid of Circuit that they forget that she has an incredibly high skill ceiling that a lot of people have hit, but the problem is
And
that
an incredibly low floor.
Yes, but the problem is that you have to make sure that, you know, if because she gets banned so often in practice or anywhere else, what'll occur is you get somebody who's not used to playing Circuit because they go, wait, Circuit's not banned? Let's play her. And then they go, wait, guys, I don't have her totally mastered because I haven't played her in 2-3 months. Also, for Cliffhangers, giving Lou Apollo this soon is guaranteeing Apollo for them pretty much, is not quite a win, but Lou is an incredibly good Apollo player. We've seen him time and time again do incredibly well with him, and Geb is also a very popular pick for Cliffhangers. Over for Team Wildcard Purple, we see hi-rez picking up Rom and Jithins picking up Athena. So they, I'm assuming this is going to be a support Athena, though we have been seeing a lot of solo lane Athena recently because of this sort of bruiser meta in the solar lane that's been coming out in the last month. Ao Kuang being locked in here for Crazy Toaster. Probably the magical version of Circuit. Insanely squishy, has some reasonable escapes if you can use them correctly, but
He's far more all-in, though, than Circuit. I mean,
yes, definitely.
If an Ao Kuang goes on you, it's do or die, and if he gets his kill, he's out of there, he's going to be perfectly fine, but if you can't get the kill, you got a little bit of trouble escaping if you want to go for the full damage combo on.
I definitely do agree with that. So we're going to see Nox actually getting banned out in the second round of bans, Ra being banned out by Cliffhangers. Ra, very solid ban, makes a lot of sense. Doesn't really tip Cliffhanger's hand too much. Now this does, though, because if they go with a Thor, that means they're going to be putting either Thor or Ao Kuang in the solo lane, and neither of them are amazing in solo. Thor can do alright in solo lane, but Ao Kuang doesn't have the clear, in my opinion, to do incredibly well here. But Cliffhangers have pulled some strange strats before, and made them work, so I can't question it too much right now. Kraken KO hovering on Agni for Wildcard, very solid mid laner. A little bit of escape, but really just a lot of general damage, and that's something that you need when, I mean, just in general, you always want more damage.
How much all-in Cliffhangers are there? They've got a Thor just dunk down, they've got Ao Kuang to come out and just have his ultimate, tons of damage as well, Geb for the blink initiates, and Lou can come crashing down from the sky anywhere he wants. Zhonghui definitely going to lean towards a support Athena right now if they go ahead and lock this in. That will be locked in. Good idea, especially since Nemesis is off the table completely, so can't fault them for that.
Yeah, I definitely like the Zhonghui solo lane here. He's got, I mean, especially when you do things like his ultimate, or he's got several AoE abilities that allow him to actually sniff out where Ao Kuang is. You know, if he applies the card and catches on to Ao Kuang while Ao Kuang is stealthed, it will sort of semi-reveal Ao Kuang. It'll show that you'll see the damage marker stick, and it will, in fact, slow him down slightly. And you'll also see, of course, if he pops his ultimate, that is an area for which he will be alright as well. So we are going to see Bakasura locked in as your last pick for Cliffhangers. That's going over to X-Cliff, meaning that it's going to be a solo lane Bakasura mid lane.
No, mid lane Kuang. No.
Mid lane. Oh, right, no, crazy. You're right. Crazy Toaster is their mid lane. My apologies.
Crazy Toaster.
I was thinking that Crazy Toaster was their jungler.
That's
which
odd, but I can see it working. You have to play very all in against the enemy laner, but if he can get in there, it could make this work.
It definitely could make it work.
But it's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird, and maybe that's what they need, is just to kind of throw off Kraken KO a little bit, if this is, of course, an Agni mid lane, which makes a little more sense than an Agni solo, but both are possible. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and wait and let the spectator client do what it does best. We'll be back in about 3 minutes with the action. This is First Blood Tournament, brought to you by Tier Monster and hi-rez Studios. My name is M-Target, my co-caster is Souza. Thank you, everybody, and we'll be right back. And here we go, everybody, with the action of our first round matchup. This is once again between Team Wildcard Purple and Cliffhangers. We have in the blue trunks the bottom side of your minimap, left-hand side of your spectator UI, Wildcard Purple with Nirat in the jungle as Serket, hi-rez in the solo lane as Zhonghui, Jithens as your support Athena, Nice Dice 231 as your Hunter Ram, Kraken KO as your mid lane Agni.
Meanwhile, coming down from the top side, we got the Cliffhangers bringing out Neverland on Geb, Lu on Apollo, Cliff on Bakasura, Verziel on Thor, and Crazy Toaster with the mid lane Kwang. And I'm kind of excited, but at the same time, we're going to have Lu trading with Jessens and Night Dice on the side.
Yeah, this is something that you really actually kind of want to be careful with, because trading with Apollo early actually can help him out a little bit, just because every time he hits a shot, it buffs up his passive, meaning that he can actually clear a little bit faster. Over in the right side jungle, though, we did see Nirat and Xcliff kind of poking each other a little bit, but that should be a disengage. Really across the board, I think this is more just feeling each other out, seeing if you want to try and provoke anything, and each team is doing the same, trying to provoke thing where it's not.
I don't think we're going to see a level 1 fight like we saw a week ago, I believe. I don't think it's anything that crazy. Just
not expecting a level 1 fight out of these teams just yet. That said, it's certainly possible. At this point, we are going to see an invade coming out here from Xcliff, as he is just going to rush straight down. And this is one of those times where you maybe not. Something to notice is that we didn't see Nirat or hi-rez or Kraken buy any wards. So that means that they didn't have any vision of this Bakasura, who just came down and decided against it, luckily for them, to not go for this blue buff steal. But he really easily could have, and that could have put Wildcard Purple at a relatively big disadvantage, as Zhonghui is rather mana hungry in the early game.
Oh, almost missed that in the middle. We actually almost saw first blood going on to Kraken. Is Kraken getting a little bullied by Crazy Toaster right now, and that's actually what he needs to be doing is Ao Kwang, and that's why I'm interested in this matchup right now. Very aggressive player on a very aggressive god.
Yeah, so I will. We'll keep the camera here for just a little bit and see how Crazy Toaster does handle this. Seeing that he's definitely going for. I like it. So he's using his combination for his dragons and his proc, if you will, on his 3s, which allows him to apply multiple dragons to minions, and he clears relatively nicely here. Surprisingly enough, I think really Kraken's just kind of afraid to get in there, because Kraken should be able to just clear these out with a single path of flames. Or Flame Wave.
With like the early level 1 fight, Kraken took a ton of damage of this. That's definitely a good way to put the fear in somebody right off the bat.
I'm definitely also seeing Verziel rotate over very early. Sort of something that we see a lot of time out of Cliffhangers, but also something that Team Wildcard Purple needs to be sort of ready for, because they see that Thor just rotated across. They need to make that call out that he's now heading over to the duo lane, where we do see actually Nice Dice tumbling into Verziel, which is something not what you want to do. You want to be tumbling away from your opponent early. Luckily, though, for Wildcard Purple, they are going to sort of get the callouts ready and just move Serket over and take her speed buff as soon as possible and not risk getting
Not to mention that aggressive posturing is mostly just to keep them away from the speed buff. Well, we've seen Cliffhangers almost always go for here. We're going to see a little bit of fight going to Lu. Lu going to get the mez out right away. Taunted right back in, right into a great Geb shield. Still taking quite a bit of poke, and looks like Cliffhangers are in a bit of a binder here in the duo lane, but Lu is sitting a level ahead, but not for long, as he will get that level up on Nice.
Indeed he is, and really, though he's a little bit lower in health right now, they're both getting ready to go back at about probably the 3 to 4 minute mark for Dev Gloves, and he's still has his health potion. Got a reasonable amount of lifesteal. He's fine. That said, also Geb early lane does a little bit better than Athena, as Athena really doesn't do amazingly until her late game, where she has a taunt that will taunt you for forever. Over in the solo lane, we're actually seeing hi-rez healing up relatively nicely, but he did actually go down to Xcliff. Xcliff hitting level 5 a little bit before him. He is low, but he should.
We're also seeing a Thor ultimate coming out as the rotation is coming through. Nira is sitting at level 4, gonna jump right in. Dunk comes down to Kraken KO. Kraken KO gonna take a ton of damage right there. Spin to win does come out, gets the ultimate off. It's gonna land, and that's gonna be Crazy Toaster picking up the second blood of the game, and a little double kill right off the bat for Team Cliffhangers right there. And they're gonna secure these mid camps with that ultimate jump.
Indeed they are, and that's one of the great things about that ultimate from Ao Kwang, is the ability to use it as an execute, but more so than just the execute, but also the
it's a free rotation.
Exactly. I think Jithens actually stole that away Over in the duo lane, we did just see Xlu killing out Nice Dice, and we're seeing Nirat trying to contest this, but he's not having a very good job of it. Oh crap, Cataclysm coming out there onto Jithens and Nirat. Nirat is going to get out of there. Beautiful taunt there from Jithens, saving his jungler, but that is still a support for nothing, and that is now 4-0 in favor of the Cliffhangers at 345. Just about 2,500 experience, 1,600 gold, both in their favor. This is definitely
really like the pick ban from Cliffhangers that there is. Although they gave up Serket, which is going to be highly valued no matter, they were able to secure away two of their favorite gods to their duo laners, actually. I mean, Neverland always a powerhouse on Geb, and Lu can play any hunter, but Apollo is an absolute monster to put him on, and definitely one of the best characters in the game right now, actually.
Definitely towards the top of the tier list, no matter who you ask as Apollo. First pick or ban almost every single match that I have watched for the last month or two. Jumping back over to the solo lane, we're seeing Xlef now 2 levels ahead of hi-rez, going into his ultimate immediately and killing hi-rez once again. However, Serket is here. He's going to leap away. Serket is going to get close, going to pop her ultimate. Ultimate not doing a whole lot of damage right now, so if Xclef can avoid taking much more than just the pure true damage, he will be fine. Ultimate coming up from Jithens as well to provide some support to Nirat, but it was a little bit late. And that's the kind of thing where if you are going to need the CC from Athena, you need to get her channeling her ultimate at the beginning of an engagement, at the absolute latest. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on those kills. Because Serket has enough CC for her own combo, but if you need anything beyond that, especially before her taunt has been leveled up, you know, it's going to be difficult there. We're actually going to see Xlef coming back in here and contesting this just a little bit. Probably gets Butcher Blades there onto Jithens, but Jithens will just dash
pulling them away from the Gold Fear right now. His team Wildcard Purple is going to miss this completely, and Cliffhangers get away with the Gold Fear right off the bat, dealing tons of damage to it with Crazy Toaster on the team. And one of the big strengths of Ao Kuang, you don't want to put him in the jungle, put him in the mid lane, he'll just completely wreck these jungle camps, and well, they're going to find a dead Gold Fury, but it's a little too late.
Indeed they are, and really, I mean, when you know that Athena isn't...
Cliff is just going completely crazy as well, and this is looking really good for Cliffhangers as Crazy Toaster is going completely crazy on Jithens. Jithens taking a lot of damage, might be able to escape right now, but Nirat can't save his life. Blink's right in front of him to keep him out. Varys all going to go for the taunt, but not going to find the taunt. That's going to him right there. Crazy Toaster is coming for that, gets stunned out by a Kraken KO right. They're going to run for his life, but going to be just fine, as Neverland will rotate to keep the rest of his team safe, and they're going to steal away this blue buff as a more of a runners-up prize.
Indeed. Well, I mean, that's what Cliff was going for at the beginning of this engagement, because Wildcard Purple did steal away his. So he's like, I'm going to go take this, and then his teammates did rotate over. Over in the duo lane, we see Nice Dice and Lu boxing a little bit. Lu's ahead. Lu's got a whole minion wave. He should be all right here. But yes, as you know, in that Gold Fury attempt, or steal for that matter, as Cliffhangers to just kind of take it out from under the noses of everybody, they saw that there was a massive rotation over to their solo lane, so they figured, why not take it now? Jumping back over to these mid camps, though, Jithens is taking a fair amount of damage from Crazy Toaster. Crazy Toaster using his stealth leap, and he's going to be applying a lot of damage. That taunt stun combo is going to do a lot of work as well onto Crazy Toaster, but he should be healing up relatively nicely. In these right mid camps, Nirat is going to actually get knocked out of his, oh, beautiful combination there of CC, and going to pop his ultimate to try and buy himself a little bit of time, but Veriziel is probably going to get the kill here. Nope, Crazy Toaster actually going to come in and get that dead bug, and that is a squashed Scorpion, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy Toaster is now
the one in danger. He's got to run for his life. Jithens is trying to find him. Ultimate did come out from Shankui, but hi-rez not able to find the damage. Jithens may be able to finish this one off, but I think Cliff might be able to leap away from this one. Leap does come off, and he's going to leap right over the wall as hi-rez was not there to cover the option, but he still is close enough. Slow card does come out, and the wild card not going to find what it wants, but Jithens just might. He's going to opt to not dive with his tower, and the grid escape from Cliff does come out of there.
A big thing going on with that was they once again actually we're gonna see Thor going up into the air after they did steal away this speed buff. Veriziel dunking down, but unfortunately for him, he lands right after Rom goes up into the air, so no stun there. However, Nice Dice does die anyways. And then you see Crazy Toaster diving the tower, killing Serket. However, he is half health and out of mana. He's in a lot of trouble. Nirat is going to get the taunt off, apply more damage with the Deathbane, and that is going to be a dead Ao Kuang. Xlu dropping in with his ultimate just a little bit too late for that. And actually, beautiful taunt there from Jithens, going to try and get Xlu. However, Lu will be saved by Neverland's beautiful Geb shield, and that is going to be a disengage. We are now 8 minutes in, 8-1, and this fight is not over. Neverland being told probably should consider going back. We could maybe almost kind of sort of kill you.
Yeah, I think he's going to take that advice to heart and go ahead and back off here, but now Jithens and Nirat are kind of forced to rotate around to find something. Gonna scout with this gold.
My apologies, everyone. We are back into the game.
We're right into the action, actually. Nerat's going in for a fight here. Gonna get taken down incredibly low. Catapult does come out. Here goes Ao Kwang, knocking Jetsons up into the sky. Gold Fury is bouncing around between targets, and we're gonna see a Gold Fury going over to the Cliffhangers again. And I do apologize for cutting you off in target, but you had something to explain.
Yeah, no, we just had some technical difficulties on my end, and of course, since I am the guy that's also running the output device, that means that the output goes down, and my apologies, everyone. We did, unfortunately, have to miss 2 minutes of action, but we're now at 11 minutes into the game, 11-1 in favor of Cliffhangers over Team Wildcard Purple. I do need to go actually back in and change that one moment.
And we also saw a Gold Fury going over to Cliffhangers and now putting them at about a solid 8k ahead right now, as Lou is going to take up. Just going to walk away from Nice Dice right here, and it's looking a little bad for Team Wildcard right now.
Looking very bad as Xcliff just ate right through hi-rez Aegis. hi-rez popped his Aegis, and Xcliff just tanked the tower as he kept chewing on him, which was unnecessary.
Not to mention, he's drawing so much pressure in the solo lane this game. This is giving Cliffhangers almost absolute free reign of the map.
That's exactly what you don't want to give a team with a Thor and an Apollo and an Ao Kwang. Because if Ao Kwang can get ahead, so it makes it easier for him to get off his ultimate, he can rotate faster, as well as just simply walking and moving around, as he has a very high movement speed god. Brief notes, speaking of Ao Kwang, he's gone for a Warlock Sash. Interesting item, makes him a little bit tankier, which is something that he needs because he's so squishy, and it also gives him a lot of power. It's the second most powerful item in the game for mages. Speaking of power, Jithin's in a lot of purple Verziel doing a lot of damage. Jithin's is only level 9.
And now Nice Dice is also an electrical dude trying to deal with Lou here. Gets out 3 shots off him, but Lou will find the damage that needs to finish him off right there. And it's going to be a killing spree for Lou right there. Almost
jumping back into the mid lane, we're going to see Xcliff diving the tower and actually getting mezzed out there. Nerat applying his ultimate there, ultimate coming out from Verziel as well. Xcliff, it did get he's getting relatively low. However, we're going to see him Aegis coming out here from Kraken KO, and we're going to see Neverland actually going in and taking the kill out from him at 12 minutes 31 seconds now in this game.
I mean, Cliffhangers just, like I said, Cliffhangers just all over the map, fighting everywhere, and there's not much Team Wildcard can do to respond at this point, sitting now at a solid 10k behind. Verziel will pick up the enemy speed bump right there, and they're just going to keep pressuring down this mid laner here. He's going to try to make his way up here and make whatever he can happen, but I don't think there's much he can make happen, as Lou will be split pushing off to the left side.
Yeah, I mean, we saw every tower going down, or every tier 1 tower is now down, and it was down at the 12-minute 40-second mark, which is an incredibly early time, but also when you have an Apollo, not too surprising to at least see 1 or 2 of them go down, jumping over into the jungle.
Now we're seeing a fight over in the duel lane right now. We're going to see Jithin's trying to go on Lou, but Lou will get a Geb Shield pop onto immediately. Shockwave does come out, trying to get there. Catson does come out. Jithin's stunned out for quite a while. Going to pull up his dash, going to be able to walk away from this one, but he's so low right now. Nice Dice trying to trade back, finding quite a bit of damage, and we're going to shove this wave to safety, but a lot of damage taken just to get a little pressure taken off.
Yeah, over in the solo lane, we see a level 15 Xcliff going hard onto hi-rez. hi-rez getting the Athena ult channeled onto him, so we're actually going to see Xcliff backing off here first, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him turn back around. Actually, he's going to get taunted out by the level 9 Jithins. That's a really risky thing for him to do because he's so much lower. Level 9 Athena, not incredibly tanky just yet. She doesn't even have Steel Mail. She only has Iron Mail, and that's also true damage on the Butcher Blades. So that's not a good place for an Athena to be at 14 minutes in, only just now hitting level 10.
It's risky, but they're trying to make the rotations actually have some effect. Because right now, Cliff just walked away, happy, took away a bunch of ultis, and quite a huge rotation over to the solo side. Wasn't much to be taken at the time, but he's drawing a lot of resources in the solo lane. I'm pretty sure Cliff is happy about that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and the other thing is that unfortunately, it's not like everything's going to be up in the next minute. But if it was, that would be a minute. In that next minute or so, Wildcard Purple would not have that Athena ultimate for them to try and get anything out of it. So that means that Cliffhangers has a little bit more freedom of rotation if they so choose. We actually are going to see Thor over in this dual lane trying to get the Tectonic Rift out onto Nice Dice. Nice Dice will just use his tumble and get away. Over in the right side jungle, Xcliff is looking like he wants to try and get something here onto Jithins and hi-rez, but he's just dancing away. It looks like they don't want to risk him stealing away this buff either. Mid lane, we're seeing Serket and Ao Kwang fighting it out just a little bit, but really, it looks like...
And now we're going to see a rotation coming out, actually, as Nice Dice gets caught out under the tower. Going to go into the sky, going to try to drop some damage, but Verziel will go into the sky, so it's going to come crashing down as soon as Nice Dice lands. It's like, going to land a little too far away, as now Nerat is applying the pressure to Lou. Lou takes a lot of damage. Lou should fall, but so will Nice Dice. Lou can actually snez out Nerat right there, but Nerat in a lot of trouble now. Dragons will finish her off. Kraken now as the target gets catapulted out in there. He's going to fall as well to Crazy Coaster, giving him a double kill right there. What do you want, a killing spree?
That it was insane. And Gold Fury's about to
Gold Fury is about to respond, so
3 for 1
what
is
a
huge.
Huge pickup there. Like 3 for 1's good, but 3 for 1 on a Gold Fury? That's incredible.
Yeah, big thing is Jithens is still alive, but Zhang Kui is not in the area for her to ultimate too. She actually is closer to the Gold Fury than the Soul Laner is, meaning that it makes more sense just simply for Jithens to walk over there instead of hi-rez to try and go over and then have her ultimate in. This should go relatively quickly as Crazy Toaster and Never Neverland. Crazy Toaster has a reasonable amount of damage. Neverland has a good amount of tankiness as well. We're going to see Verozio come back around just to help out and apply some more here. Gold Fury actually... Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was Verizil's Hog, not Never Neverland's, so we did see the Hog go off there properly as well.
One good thing I want to point out is Verizil moved over to the dual in it there, and started to apply pressure on the minions to try to draw attention away from the Gold Fury as well. Not that it's likely that Jithens could have done much there, but try and just draw as much attention away from the Gold Fury, even though they probably knew what was going on. They do have it warded right now.
Yeah, they did have a ward sitting right on top of it.
But just trying to apply as much pressure as possible and draw as much attention as you can, and, well, there wasn't much Team Wildcard Purple could do in either situation, so it just worked out doubly.
Indeed, we're going to see Excliffe playing a little bit of damage, or pressure, forcing out Deathbane. Nothing too significant on that Circuit right now. But we're now sitting at 17 minutes into the game, and 19,000 experience different, just short, and a 14,000 gold difference. Those are huge numbers, and those are both pure. There are no level 20s on the board yet, which means that Cliffhangers is just entirely ahead of Wildcard Purple, rather significantly as well. Actually, seeing Nice Dice getting blown up over in the dual lane. He's sitting up in his ultimate, just waiting. Lou just tanked all 3 of those shots, and Verizil actually dunked down and took the kill there. Verizil with the double kill. That is terrifying, and they're in a lot of trouble. This might be a triple kill. Jithens popping his shell incredibly late. That's a triple kill. And now we're going to see Agni in a lot of trouble, as we do see Excliffe killing hi-rez over in the solo lane. Kraken KO is doing his best, but he will go down here. Question is to whom? Crazy Toaster gets the kill. That is a deicide. 17 minutes in, a 22-2 is the slash line.
And the surrender vote has started right there, and what a deuce right there. They're sitting at about almost 20k ahead after the back of this, and they have a fire giant exposed. They're going to start heading over to it, and Lou just going to come crashing down across the skies, and this is looking real good for Cliffhangers right now, but not so much for Purple.
Definitely not. I mean, this is a very hard position to find yourself in. Not one that's not irredeemable, but one that's incredibly difficult. No Phoenixes have been breached just yet, which means that there really isn't anything
But with a fire giant on the board now for Cliffhangers, that's about to change most likely.
Oh, definitely. Like they would
so
have.
Purple needs to figure something. They need to either get some picks to get the fire giants off the table, but Wildcard doesn't have enough wards on the table to find this. And Cliffhangers aren't really splitting in the right places to happen. They're so far ahead, and that even if they get there, and with how much global pressure they have, it would be difficult to find a good enough pick.
Definitely. So I think
there's so much mobility across the board, and they're just so far ahead that it'll be difficult for Purple right now.
I agree that Wildcard Purple is doing a good job. I like what they're doing, I should say. I agree with their decision to sort of push a little bit, try and find experience where you can, stay relatively grouped, and be prepared for Cliffhangers to push down a lane and then make their stand at that Phoenix. They need that extra, that sort of 6th man to do the damage that they will be needing to do, as they are still, like you said, very significantly behind. And they looks like, from what we can see, Cliffhangers wants to try and collapse on the dual lane, but of course Wildcard Purple can only see some of the members of Cliffhangers in the mid lane, so they're a little bit concerned about that. Also, something to note, Never Neverland, 3rd item, Soul Reaver. He's that far ahead that he decided to skip a Witchblade, skip a Gem of Isolation, or not Gem of Isolation, skip a Stone of Gaia, skip a Bulwark of Hope, skip all of that stuff. Soul Reaver. Terrifying.
He's tanking up with his levels right now is the thing, and they're gonna go for Blink right to kind of near getting caught out, and he's gonna fall down the cliff right there. Now the thing's in danger. Cliff going deep for some bears, though will dump him, but a little too far away. Distance should fall there. Got off by a great wall as well. Now hi-rez on danger. Goes to the stump, but not gonna find anybody right there. Bears will spin to win right under the Titan right there. Should fall down to hi-rez, and down he goes. The Phoenix will not stay alive as long.
Oh, that is that second Phoenix got blown up almost as quickly as the first
now
one.
Now they're going to try to defend this third Phoenix, so you're going to get a great stun card. Pretty great Acme stun right there. Trying to drop bombs on everybody. Nice Dice now. Indeed, you're going to tumble away for his life. Kraken now the center of attention. Cliff will take him down now. Nice Dice once again taking the pain right there, but the Titan is going to keep him safe for a while. Aegis going to pop for Cliff. Going to dodge from the card, but not long enough. He's going to fall down for the shutdown money, but all 3 Phoenixes have fallen after that.
Indeed, and at this point, I really don't know if it's possible for Wildcard Purple to come back. I think I've only ever seen a 3 Phoenix wipe come back once, and it required a very, very drastic mistake, as well as some insane team play from the team that only had at 0 Phoenixes at that point. So really, Cliffhangers has 3 waves of insanely powerful minions coming in because of how underpowered and underfarmed Team Wildcard Purple is. They just aren't really equipped to handle it. We're starting to see level 20 start pouring out as far as Cliffhangers are concerned. And we have 1 level 16 on the board for Wildcard Purple, and it's on Nice Dice, and he only has his Executioner finished. Like, he doesn't have any crit.
He's able to duel quite nicely and land the shots he needs, but he just doesn't have the damage unlocked.
He doesn't. I mean, we're seeing a modified, not quite sure which build you'd like to call it, a modification of, as we see a Chen size being started here on the side of Lu. And actually, I see Crazy Toaster caught out.
He should have a blink away, but I think he used it actually to try to just deal some damage there. Just trying to juke around as long as possible, and they're not able to hit the shots they need. Now he's just going to try to duel back on the Jittens. They're a little afraid to see the store come dunking down. They should be afraid. It's cracking KOs in a lot of trouble now. Lu is coming across the skies. I know he's going for the gold tree. Actually, his Nice Dice will secure this one. Gonna try to back away, but Kwong is in the sky, and he is a dragon. But I think Kwong wants to just go for the throat right here. His Jittens will fall to Neverland right there. Now here comes hi-rez coming to the Crazy Toaster. Crazy Toaster will get stunned out there, but not for that long. The follow is going to come crashing and run up on hi-rez. hi-rez should fall in here. Great wall keeping him locked down, but a shockwave will finish him off. And that is the power of a Soul Reaver Geb. Unfortunately, that's so far ahead. Nira is trying his best to keep things alive, but he does get stunned out, and he does fall down there for the Dia side. This is going to be a good game for Cliffhangers at 21 minutes in.
Indeed, it is 21-47, 32-4. Very difficult, but they really just sort of snowballed out of control there. You know, so it was really definitely that sort of game of minor mistakes led to bigger gains and bigger gains.
How snowballing of a comp that Cliffhangers was running. As soon as you put Ao Kwong on a team, things get bad. But when a global comp gets ahead, you're in for a bit of pain. And that's an understatement.
Indeed. And so that is going to be the end of our first round game. So we're going to go ahead and go to a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with our next round of matchups. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties. Hopefully we won't have any more today. My name is M. Target. My co-caster is Soza. This is the First Blood Tournament brought to you by Tier Monster and hi-rez Studios. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.